Hello everyone, welcome to the Daily Sip, and today I'm going into the Gyokuro and the two benefits I see in the Gyokuro. Today I want to dive deep into the Emperor's Green Tea, how it is also called. So the Gyokuro used to be the choice of the Emperor due to the fact that this is a high quality tea in early times, as the kind of low quality and the keep or the temperature or low temperature storage was not something common. This tea actually kept good on a high quality for a long time, as the emperor said, okay, I don't start to drink my green tea in April, but I want to start it in autumn, just to see which tea endures and which tea then is still able to be drunk. And the one or the choice of the emperor was always then the Gyokuro. Developed in 1840, finally it hit the market and it was quite a big success, but always very expensive. Also nowadays you can find Gyokuros which go up way high of, I don't know, 100, 200 or even $300 per 30-gram pack. So you can buy very expensive Gyokuros, but there are also some affordable ones you can find on the market. And I'm more of a sensual person, but sometimes I crave a little bit for a Gyokuro, and the reason is mostly when I have a short night or when I need a little bit of an extra energy, I tend to go for the Gyokuro. So why is that? Gyokuro is actually the leaf tea which has the most caffeine. The reason why the Gyokuro is such a high caffeinated tea is actually that the shading process of Gyokuro from all the leaf teas is the longest. It can go between 20 to even 30 days for which the green tea farmers applies just by covering the tea plants from the sunlight and really cutting the plant from the sunlight. And what happens in these 21 or 25 days what you have the tea in the shade is actually the plant starts to grow and starts to absorb more minerals, but it also starts to produce more caffeine, because actually the caffeine is a defense mechanism for the plant. So the plant starts to produce caffeine just to protect itself, and as the shading is so long, the most caffeine is produced in the Gyokuro plant. Then there's also matcha. Matcha has a similar level of caffeine. Gyokuro and matcha, definitely the two caffeinated or most caffeinated green teas. But as you might know, in green tea there's a huge advantage, for example, versus coffee, because in green tea the caffeine is linked with L-theanine and polyphenols, so this reduces the immediate effect, so kind of this rush of caffeine, making you jittery, making you nervous. Also the release of adrenaline in the body is much slower, and one thing which also is provoked by the L-theanine is actually releasing the alpha waves. Alpha waves, they are known to have a relaxing effect on your body. They also are said that they fight depression and anxiety. So it's kind of a really a relaxing and you're clearing your mind effect, which this tea has. Often is also said that Gyokuro is really great when you go and you have to do a task which asks you for more concentration, really to have a stronger focus. Also, for example, when you're doing sports, really focusing yourself on the exercise, then this is a moment when you might be in need, or when you might to drink a high theanine content green tea, and this is either matcha or also Gyokuro. Both of them are on a similar level when you finally compare the amount of tea which is used. So with a good Gyokuro we can go up to 2000 milligram per 100 gram. So we are around, we can go with the 5 grams nearly to 100 milligrams of theanine, which is, there's no kind of maximum theanine amount which you can take during the day, but I often read articles where around 100 milligram is promoted as being a good quantity of theanine. So this is something a good quality Gyokuro definitely has, and the theanine also has a special taste note, and this is the taste note of umami, and it triggers a lot of this taste note. So it's a little bit this sweet, savory, and beautiful kind of balanced of kind of this sweet and fruity, and also a little bit more this kind of savory taste notes. And this you have strongly in the Gyokuro. So Gyokuro is also taste-wise quite an experience. Taste-wise very nice. If you're looking a little bit more for this typical Japanese green tea style tea taste, then Gyokuro definitely will serve you very good in this manner. So you definitely should try once a Gyokuro for yourself, just to see how this tea tastes and how actually the tea pleases your palate, and if this is a tea you would drink for yourself on a regular basis. Important is with the Gyokuro to really get out the sweetness, and also to provoke a little bit more the theanine to come out, is actually that you go and you don't kind of push the temperature of the water over 60 degrees 140 Fahrenheit. Some farmers even go down to 50, or even sometimes Mr. Sakamoto, who is the farmer of this tea, he said to us that he goes sometimes around 30-35 degrees. What the reason why he does that is that he releases more the sweeter particles, and you release more the theanine and a little bit less the caffeine. So if much more sweeter tea, a calming tea, but it still has a nice caffeine kind of awakening effect, that there is a releasing, or the caffeine is releasing, but not in a high manner. If you really want to push the caffeine, then you should go higher. But this good mix of the release of the theanine, which is calming effect, and the awakening state through the caffeine, this is really something which is good. That's why 60 degrees is the most common temperature for a Gyokuro. Good. This is now 2 minutes in, so Gyokuro, you should leave it 2 minutes. As always, good. And here you see how beautiful the color is. And what you all can see is a little bit this milky texture. It's a little bit milky. There's a lot of essential oils as well. It's very rich in amino acids. It's a very rich tea in general, in minerals, in nutrients. If you got a first harvest Gyokuro, to really try it once, it's just a different experience of tea. When I just take the first sip, already in the beginning I have this strong kind of round, dense, silky texture of the tea water, and then you really have this explosion of this umami flavor profile. So it's kind of a savory, sweet, it goes in all directions, in between kind of the savoriness and the sweetness. It's in the beginning it touches first, it's nearly a little bit kind of salty, but it doesn't stay salty, turns directly into a sweetness. Then you have some fruitiness coming in, a little bit of mango, have a little bit of pineapple as well, and then it kind of goes into this sweetness, fruitiness, and then goes back to the savoriness, and then goes back into the sweetness again. So it really plays around and really kind of turns from flavor profile to flavor profile and swings around. This is very beautiful about the Gyokuro taste experience, and it really lingers for a long time in your palate. And just the density and the richness of the water is just incredible with a Gyokuro. This is where I experience this effect the most, that you have really this kind of silky texture, like this gliding over your tongue. It's a nice feeling as well. You really can feel the richness of the tea. When we go to second brewing, let's see. Only a short time, also second brewing. So it gets a little bit, so the savoriness is very strong in the first brewing, and then in the second brewing you have a little bit more of the vegetal taste, making a space, or like the savoriness makes a little bit of space to the vegetal taste, and vegetal taste profiles come in. So really have a change in the flavor profile of the tea. Still a lot of fruitiness, beautiful. It's a little bit more of a sweet corn taste coming through. Like in the beginning, it's really kind of savory, strong, nearly a little bit brothy, but changed very, very nicely changed up with this fruitiness, the mango, the pineapple, a little bit, this fruits playing around in your palate. Here we are much more on a sweet, light, the sweet corn side, making space also for some vegetable notes, so fresh spinach a little bit going in this direction. And there's a slight acidity now, a slight tingling on the top of my tongue. So it's quite a significant change in taste profile. So you really got to experience also here. I would say it nearly shows a little bit more of sencha, kind of a little bit more greener notes. And beautiful. Number 3. Good. So this is number 3, and I guess this is going to be my last steeping. So now we're still with the savoriness. There's still a fruitiness. It becomes a little bit lighter, but still a very round and kind of a good balanced tea between the savoriness and the fruitiness. It's still a very, very good tea. So this is a tea which I definitely promote you if you want to have something where you have a little bit less energy like myself this morning. So go for the Gyokuro. It has a very nice calming, kind of awakening but relaxing effect on yourself, and you really can go into a taste experience also in terms of umami, which is very strong. So it very kind of gives you the maximum taste of this umami, typical savory flavor profile. It shows a lot of fruitiness, it really stays in the fruity section. It doesn't go too much in the flower. In the middle part you really have a little bit more of this fruitiness, a little bit of the sweet corn, and you also have the vegetal notes mixing into the taste. And now in the third steeping it really seems to have a nice balance between a smooth, a kind of savory taste profile with the fruitiness, and the vegetal tastes are not there, not too strong anymore, so it changes back into a more balanced tea. So this was this. I hope you like this one here, and I wish you guys a great weekend. See you next week. This was this for the daily sip for this week. Thank you, and see you, and bye bye.